Okay. Good morning, Brandon. It's nice to have you here. I'm glad you're here. I see that you were referred by your general doctor for having some symptoms. So before we get started, I just want to go over a few limits of confidentiality, okay? And
Okay.
make sure you understand these. So there are three. The first one, everything you say in here is confidential. It's a private, safe space. I want you to feel comfortable to talk to me. But the three limits to where I would have to tell which I would obviously talk to you before I did this and let you know what was happening. The first is if I were to be subpoenaed by a judge or a courtroom. And then the second one is if you disclose that you were going to be an immediate harm to yourself or anybody else, I would have to report that too. And then the third is if you disclose that you were being abused or if someone you knew was being abused. Are those clear to you?
Very.
Okay, awesome. So before we get started, have you ever been to therapy before?
Many, many years ago.
Okay, awesome. So there may be some changes, but I just kind of want to go over like a brief outline of this session. Since it's your first session, we're not going to get too deep into things. I want to take some time to kind of get to know you a little bit better, and then you get to know me too. So I want you to just know if you ever feel like you aren't clear about something, or if you need to ask any questions, just stop me at any point. Okay, I'm happy to explain some stuff, or if there's a term I use that you don't know, just stop me and ask me. Okay.
Okay.
And also, I'm taking some notes throughout the session. So if you see me looking down or writing things down, it's just so I can kind of remember what you did say, so I'm not missing anything. But I wanted you to know that too.
Okay. Thank you.
hmm So can you tell me a little bit about what brought you here? What's going on?
Well, I had a bunch of friends come to me and they told me they haven't seen me in a while and they were really worried about me. Some of them thought I was dead.
Oh
'Cause
goodness.
It's probably been 2 months since I've seen anybody.
hmm
I just stay inside and I get anything I need delivered to me.
hmm Okay, so it sounds like it's good to hear that you have some friends and stuff who care about you enough and were concerned enough to notice that you were going through something.
hmm
So it sounds like you haven't seen your friends in a while. You've been staying inside the last 2 months. Um, do you?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I haven't really seen anybody in the past few months. My family's been trying to reach out to me. I just kind of been pushing it off. I haven't talked to them at all. I haven't asked them how they're doing.
Okay.
Just my friends every now and then.
You just do still talk to your friends every now and then?
I do.
Okay. Well, I just want to commend you for being here because I know it's difficult to get up and take the step to come, but just you being here today, it shows me that you really do. You've taken initiative and you care. And it sounds like you have some support that cares about you too. So thank you for being here. I know it can be really hard. Have you noticed anything off about yourself? I know you say your friend, I know you told me like you've been staying inside. Do you know kind of like how are you feeling about this or what's it
Um,
affecting?
I just have not wanted to do anything.
Mhm.
I haven't wanted to get out or anything. I
Okay.
just want to stay inside. Like people say, crawl in a hole and die. I just want to stay in my little hobbit hole.
Oh my goodness. So you
I
said
just,
crawl in a hole and die. Are you feeling like you want to die or is that just
not, it's just the phrase. I just want to stay inside. I just don't want to see anybody. Just forget I exist. Just
okay?
want to stay inside.
Well, those are some really tough thoughts you're having. I hate to hear that. I would like to what What would you like to get back to? Like, do you have a job and stuff?
I do have a job.
Mhm.
I'm a manager at a store.
Okay. So how frequently do you work or are your feelings affecting your job?
I will say my feelings probably have affected my job. I've gone in and my colleagues say they see a difference in me. They say my eyes look dull, like I don't even want to be there.
hmm
Of course, I don't. They say I used to be so lively and I'm not talking with them as much. I was always like the life of the party. I was
hmm
always talking to everybody, bringing happiness into the workplace. And they said they haven't seen that in a few months.
Yeah. Okay. So did this all start a few months ago or when did it start?
Probably started a little bit more than a few months ago. I got really, really down. Probably about close to a year ago.
Okay.
It's
That's
just been
long.
really hitting home lately.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time for you to be feeling down like that. So I appreciate you coming in here. It just sounds like you're going through a tough time, having a really low mood and some really negative thoughts. And are you kind of isolating yourself from others?
I am. I probably haven't left the house right now for 2 weeks. I've
Goodness.
been calling off work.
Okay.
I
Yes.
actually have to go back a week from now. I've already used my PTO for all that time,
Yeah.
but I'm out of my sick days
Hmm.
after that.
So are you a little bit worried about going back to work and getting back in the groove?
I am. That's probably one of the reasons I wanted to talk with you
Okay.
because I need to get better and I'm gonna have to get back out.
Okay, awesome. Well, you making that statement right there, it shows me that you're motivated, and we're gonna find some things that are gonna work for you, okay? I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you a little bit about this technique that I think is gonna be effective for the symptoms you presented. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy. So I'll say CBT for short, okay?
Okay.
CBT is a therapy where it's good for people who may be experiencing symptoms of anxiety, depression, and a number of other issues. But for you, I think it's going to work because it's going to help us identify the negative thoughts or event because you told me that you feel like you just want to crawl in a hole and just disappear. So we can help identify, like, first, you've already identified a few of those negative thoughts without even knowing it. So we're already kind of into the method. And then we're going to talk about how those make you feel. So I know that that some of the feelings that you're having, the thoughts, they are making you feel like down in a low mood. And then we're going to look at how those feelings are influencing your behaviors. So CBT focuses a lot on little changes, you having the power to change yourself, identifying those thoughts, and then we'll add in some like small little homeworks, little things that you can do. And then when you come back to me within 2 weeks, we kind of just go over what's changing. Okay.
Okay.
So, was there an event or anything that occurred whenever all this started, or did it just come unexpectedly? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I always had problems with death,
Mhm.
and last year I lost quite a few people in my life. I've had two really close people pass away. One was from cancer, one was unexpected unexpected to me. I didn't know he was that sick. Another one of my really close friends took their life.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine. I'm sure that was very hard on you, two people kind of back to back that you really cared about.
It was very hard. And my last 3 months ago, I've had another person pass away,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was unexpected.
Hmm.
They found her, so that was really tough because I walked in on it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm really sorry about your losses. I already know you're very strong just being able to be here and talk about that. Was there anything that you did to process your grief or any support systems that you had?
None at all, actually. I was actually trying to help my family through some of it.
Mm-hmm.
I I didn't talk to anybody about it. You're actually the first person I've talked to this about.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming and trusting me with that. I'm happy to be here for you, and I want you to know that even though you maybe haven't been talking to your family or friends as much, or if you feel like you don't really have anyone to talk to, you can always talk to me about this stuff. I'm here for you. I really care about you, and I want to find something that's going to work and do what we can do. So losing so many people you care about back to back like that, I'm sure that's had a really big influence on your feelings and thoughts, and you kind of feeling you just want to like you want to crawl in a hole and kind of isolating yourself from people because I'm sure those were three people that you really talked to a lot. Have you tried anything to kind of get yourself in better spirits?
I've been playing some video games because that video games make me really happy.
Hmm.
And I thought maybe a few laughs, a few days playing games with my online friends. I have two different sets. My online friends have no clue who they are. We just
Mhm.
hang out and have fun. I thought that'd maybe help, and it's helped a little bit, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just trying to cover up my sadness and stuff with depression, with laughter.
Yeah. Okay. And it's good sometimes too to be able to distract ourselves or have like coping skills, for example, that can distract us. So it sounds like video games or something that you can do to kind of bring your mood up. But like you said, we do need to get to the root of some of those underlying emotions so we can kind of work through them and they don't keep presenting because emotions and feelings, I like to use this analogy. It's kind of like a spring. So you can like stand on your spring and try to suppress your emotions and feelings for as long as you want to. But the minute you step off, it's just all going to come right back up. So we can keep it all bottled in and try to mask it and be strong, which it sounds to me like you've been trying to be strong for almost a year now and kind of work through this by yourself. But if we don't work through it, it will still come back up. So you've already done the first step. You came here and you've talked to me about it. Um, which is really good. Thank you. I'm sorry, the lighting in here just changed. I'm going to turn this on. Okay. So I see that you feel like you're not wanting to do anything and that you just kind of want to crawl in a hole. When's the last time you've seen your friends and stuff?
Ooh, I'm not even sure. I know it's been over a month.
Mhm.
I had one of my friends, yeah, I had him bring me some supplies, some groceries and stuff. But before that, it's probably 2 months.
You know, I'm really glad you have it's evident that you have a really good support system too, and people really care about you. Sounds to me like your work friends, like your people at work really notice your behavior and care about you too. So would you say that you do kind of have a big circle of people that you can lean on if you need to?
I'd say so. I don't want to burden them either.
Yeah. So you do feel like you're a burden sometimes?
I do. I feel like I'm a burden a
Mhm.
lot. I don't want to talk about my feelings with other people. I don't want to burden them.
Okay. So you feel like talking about your feelings to people makes you a burden to them. And do you think this is a reason why you haven't really worked through any of this grief or told anyone about what's been going on?
I think so. I haven't want to burden anybody with my problems. I don't want to talk about my feelings because what if they're going through something and I'm putting more on them?
Huh. So it sounds to me like you're a really considerate person and you probably put some people's needs before your own.
Yeah, most definitely. I've been talking with some people
Mhm.
the past few months with their problems.
Yeah. So that's admirable of you to want to put like your friends and family's needs at the forefront, but you do have to take care of your own self because you know you can't it's hard to meet other people's needs if you aren't happy yourself or can't meet your own. So, is there a reason why you feel like that? Like, has there been an instance where you had a friend or family member tell you that you were a burden or that your feelings didn't really matter? Or do you feel like this is just something within you?
Well, my father told me when I was little that I don't need to talk about my feelings.
Mhm.
That's kind of one of those guy things.
Okay.
Guys aren't supposed to talk about their feelings.
Yeah, I know I've heard that stigma too. So, I'm glad that you know kind of what the root of that is. So, in the next few sessions, that is a great starter point. Um, Working through why you feel like you can't talk about your feelings and what's kind of keeping you from it. We'll start there next time, kind of looking into childhood because a lot of the stuff you went through when you were younger, our childhoods can have a really big influence on who we are as people today. So I think after today's session, the grief is something that is really big that I want to address. But I think you'll be able to work through a lot of your grief by talking to your friends and family and just being with your loved ones. Because it sounds to me like those people are really important to you and spending time with them helps your mood. Um, but a lot of that is going to come from working through what you experienced in your childhood and just kind of changing the way that you see asking for help. Because it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to people, but you see it as it sounds like someone told you to see it as kind of a negative thing, like you shouldn't ask for help. Is that right?
Yeah, I was always taught that it's a negative thing. I don't need to
Mhm.
talk about my feelings, but I need to be there for other people, be the crutch for them.
Yeah, so that's tough, and it can be hard living like that. You can get burnt out really easily, and it sounds like you may be a little burnout, depressed from everything you've been doing and just all the deaths and challenges you've went through. But it's obvious you're really resilient. You're here. So we're gonna start with like working on your grief and just kind of processing some of the stuff in your childhood to get you where you need to be. But before you come back for your next session, I do want to give you just a little bit of homework. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. So I'm going to see you again in 2 weeks. So over the next 2 weeks, I want you to keep a little journal, just like a thought record. Is that something, are you interested in journaling at all?
I've thought about it. I do write a few things here and there.
Okay. I want you to keep a journal. And then each day, if you can, it would be really helpful. I want you to start off in the morning with like a scale of 1 to 10, how you're feeling that morning. So 10 being you feel great, you're ready to tackle the day, 1 being you're at your very lowest. And just write how you're feeling, circle your number, and then maybe a little sentence or two in the morning about why you're feeling that way. And then at night too, I want you to debrief about your day and then do your little scale again, 1 to 10, circle where you are, and then give me a few reasons why. Because on those days, when you come back, I want to be able to look at what changed on the days that you were feeling better or worse, or if there were any like things you did that made you really happy or situations that occurred. Um, we'll go over those and look at those, okay?
Okay, I can definitely do that.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I'll see you again in 2 weeks, okay? I really enjoyed having you here and I appreciate you sharing everything that you did with me. I know it probably wasn't easy, but I'm here for you and we're going to find something that works for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.